name is Ava, and today we're going to be reading a story out of the book Adventures of Frog and Toad, written by Arnold Lobel. Thank you to Sandy Creek for publishing this book. Do you know what the difference between a frog and a toad is? Well, a frog has softer skin, and a frog prefers to hop. But toads have rougher skin, and they prefer to crawl. This book is about friendship, so let's start. Here we have a big table of contents, because within this book, there are 3 different books. There's Frog and Toad Are Friends, Frog and Toad Together, and Days with Frog and Toad. I'll be reading you a story from Frog and Toad Together. So this book has its own table of contents too. There are different stories, and the number next to each story tells us which page the story starts on. Today I'll be reading the book, A List. One morning, Toad sat in bed. "I have many things to do," he said. "I will write them all down on a list so that I can remember them." Toad wrote on a piece of paper, "A list of things to do today." Then he wrote, "Wake up." "I've done that," said Toad, and he crossed it out, "Wake up." I love to make lists because it helps me stay organized. Do you like making lists too? Let's continue and see what his list is about. Then Toad wrote other things on the paper. A list of things to do today. Wake up, eat breakfast, get dressed, go to Frog's house, take walk with Frog, eat lunch, take nap, play games with Frog, eat supper, and go to sleep. "There," said Toad. "Now my day is all written down." He got out of bed and had something to eat. Then Toad crossed out, "Eat breakfast." Toad took his clothes out of the closet and put them on. Then he crossed out, "Get dressed." Toad put the list in his pocket. He opened the door and walked out into the morning. Soon, Toad was at Frog's front door. He took the list from his pocket and crossed out, "Go to Frog's house." Toad knocked at the door. "Hello," said Frog. "Look at my list of things to do," said Toad. "Oh," said Frog, "that is very nice." Toad said, "My list tells me that we will go for a walk." "All right," said Frog, "I'm ready." Frog and Toad went on a long walk. Then Toad took the list from his pocket again. He crossed out, "Take walk with Frog." Just then, there was a strong wind. It blew the list out of Toad's hand. The list blew high up into the air. "Help!" cried Toad. "My list is blowing away. What will I do without my list?" "Hurry," said Frog. "We will run and catch it." "No," shouted Toad. "I cannot do that." "Why not?" asked Frog. "Because," wailed Toad, "running after my list is not one of the things that I wrote on my list of things to do." "Isn't he being silly? He needs to go get his list." "What would you do if your list blew away?" "I would probably go make a new one, so that I knew what to do." Frog ran after the list. He ran over hills and swamps, but the list blew on and on. At last, Frog came back to Toad. "I'm sorry," gasped Frog, "but I could not catch your list." "Blah," said Toad. "I cannot remember any of the things that were on my list of things to do. I will just have to sit here and do nothing," said Toad. Toad sat and did nothing. Frog sat with him. After a long time, Frog said, "Toad, it is getting dark. We should be going to sleep now." "Go to sleep," shouted Toad. "That was the last thing on my list." Toad wrote on the ground with a stick, "Go to sleep." Then he crossed out, "Go to sleep." "There," said Toad. "Now my day is all crossed out." "I'm glad," said Frog. Then Frog and Toad went right to sleep. The end. I really like this story because it's about friendship. It shows how good of a friend Frog is. Even when Toad was upset that his list was gone, Frog was there the whole time to keep him company. I hope you had a fun time reading the story with me today. Thank you, everybody. I'm Ava.